what does your casserole look like on Thanksgiving? Is it a sweet potato casserole or is it a pumpkin pie casserole? But I'm gonna be very bold and make a statement here. I rarely like to make strong opinions, but I like a sweet potato pie way more than a pumpkin pie. And I'm curious, is that inflammatory? Did I just make an inflammatory statement on the internet? I'm not gonna be like, I don't like a pumpkin pie, but I don't. I guess I am gonna be like that. We are gonna make a white sweet potato casserole today. Yes, a white sweet potato casserole, because there's white sweet potatoes. So let's get into it. The reason we're doing this today is because my book, Twas the Night Before Christmas, y'all, which is exactly what you think it is, has a recipe in the back that's from my family, and it's a very special recipe because this is the first recipe I was ever allowed to make and bring to the family dinner. And if you know anything about Southern family dinners, you know that bringing a dish to the covered dish is a huge deal. Bringing a dish to the covered dish is a huge deal. Fortunately, someone in my family already makes this very well, so I don't have to bring it every time. If it had been a hit and nobody else had made this, I would be responsible from here until the end of eternity for bringing the sweet potato casserole, but my aunt makes it better than me, so I'm off the hook and stuck with knives, plates, napkins, forks, those kinds of things, and mess that up every once in a while so they don't move you up. Anyways, we're gonna make the sweet potato casserole today. Y'all have to agree not to tell my family that it's really good. Sweet potatoes in the South are a huge thing. We got sweet potato queens, we got sweet potato pies, we got sweet potato casserole, and they're a big part of life down here. Even Mississippi sweet potatoes are known to be the most nutritious and the best flavor because something about our soil, the terroir, if you will, makes them a little bit sweeter. I don't know what, but it sure does. And today we have a special kind of sweet potato. It's a white sweet potato. Did you know there are white sweet potatoes? It's still a sweet potato, but it's white. This is a white sweet potato. It looks like a baked potato if you look inside of it, but if you look at the outside, there's a clue. First of all, you can kind of tell from the skin, but do you see the sugars that's caramelized as we baked this sweet potato? It's a sweet potato. It's just white. And that brings me to a point about yams. Do you know that yams are sweet potatoes are yams? They're all the same thing. Canning companies were canning sweet potatoes and they used more orange colored sweet potatoes, which has a little bit more beta carotene in it, which is good for your eyes and things like that and for your skin, but it's not necessarily necessary to the sweet potato. But they used only very orange ones and called those yams. So when you have yams or candied yams, it's a sweet potato, it's just an orange sweet potato. These are white sweet potatoes. And the reason they're white today is because that's what the Piggly Wiggly had. And we do what the Piggly Wiggly says, the little pig. So let's get started. This is the sweet potato casserole. I thought it was interesting when she illustrated this because think about a sweet potato casserole in your mind, it's kind of just brown. But I thought she did a really good job of showing that it is actually a casserole, and this is what we're gonna be making today. And it really is pretty straightforward and simple. So let's look at the ingredients we've got, because once you've got your ingredients prepared, you're pretty much there. So the first thing that we need is 3 cups of sweet mashed potatoes. We roasted ours in the oven. I've got that here, and I've got a masher, and now I'm just gonna mash them. They're pretty much mashed as they are. You can see they're coming through very easily. And we're gonna combine this with a bunch of other stuff, so it's not super important that it's like very exact. So we've got our roasted mashed sweet potatoes, and now we're gonna add a cup of granulated sugar, and I'm just gonna add it all into this one big bowl. It's kind of like a dump and go type of a thing. So I've got a cup of granulated sugar, which fit very nicely in this crystal cup that we did just because this is just for y'all. We got the good crystal out just for y'all. But a cup of that, dump it right in. And then we're gonna put a cup of butter. You could also put margarine. I'm going with butter. This butter is room temperature, and it's important that it's room temperature. Stuff like that doesn't seem like it matters, but it does. It's gonna make a difference in how this all holds together. So a cup of room temperature butter, dumped it right in. Crystal leaf glass for y'all. And then we're going for a half of a cup of whole milk. Dramatic pour. About a tablespoon of vanilla extract, and this is just the regular vanilla extract. I don't have the good vanilla extract like Anna Garten would prefer for us to, but a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Good vanilla if you've got it. Piggly Wiggly vanilla if you don't. 2 eggs, beaten well, and I'm gonna mix them all together in here, so they're going straight in the mix for me. 1, 2. And our last little ingredient for this segment is just like a pinch of cinnamon, just a little bit, not too much. Now, we're gonna take our mixer, whisks attached, and we're gonna mix it. And you can mix this as high as you want to or as low as you want to. Just get it mixed up real good. I'm actually gonna cut up my butter a little bit more. Now ready for the fun part. If you were making this with grandchildren, this is a good moment for them to get to do this. I love to get to mix things and also taste them, but mixing. So let your grandbabies do this part. I'm starting off low just to get it going. I feel like we've got it good and mixed up here. Incorporated, if you will. All right, so this is our casserole itself. So we've got that thing done. We're gonna set that to the side. But for the topping, we're gonna use this bowl. We need a cup of light brown sugar, straight in, fancy glass for y'all. A cup of butter melted, so I'm gonna melt this. This is our melted butter. Remember we had softened butter earlier, and it's important that it's room temperature. And here's a trick that if you don't have your butter softened in time, take a mug, put it in the microwave for a few seconds, 15, 30 seconds, and then turn it upside down over the butter, and it's gonna kind of soften it for you just a little bit. Soften it up real good. Because I am a person who has forgotten to soften the butter. That's me at my core. All right, melted butter in with our light brown sugar. Now we need a half of a cup of all-purpose flour. Obviously I'm using White Lily because it's the very best. This is White Lily all-purpose flour. I sifted it earlier just because my grandma taught me the way to do that. So you're supposed to sift your flour. I don't know why. Just do it. Our very last ingredient is a cup of chopped nuts. These are pecans because we got pecans here and they're real good. They're my favorite. So we've got all that together. We're just gonna mix it together. I've got this very cool whisk type of a thing. And get that nice and coated. Making sure all the nuts get coated with the flour and the butter and the sugar. All right, we've got this nicely mixed. And now the hard part, just putting it all together. So you want like a 2-quart casserole dish, something about like this, and you want to grease it real good with some butter and some flour. All right, we've got our buttered and floured 2-quart casserole dish. Gonna add in our batter. Well, I don't think this is batter. Add in the casserole itself. And how fun, a sweet potato casserole that is not orange. I wonder if I took this to Thanksgiving, what chaos that would cause. I feel like it would be chaos. I feel like white sweet potato casserole is not approved, but we're gonna get it approved today because this is something else. I've actually never seen a specifically white sweet potato. I've seen some not very orange ones, but these were labeled white sweet potatoes. Now we're gonna do the same thing with our topping. We're gonna add that in here. And when you're adding the topping, if you dumped it all at once, it's gonna be really hard to spread it out since this is a little bit of a challenge. But I always find that when the topping kind of gets mixed in a little bit, that's what I'm gonna do kind of anyways when I eat it myself. I don't believe that your toppings have to be perfect on a sweet potato casserole. I think they just need to be there. In the top half of the dish is my goal. I don't want to be on the bottom, but if they're anywhere near the top half of the dish, then we're doing good. And that's that. We have made a southern sweet potato casserole. Now you can add more toppings if you want more toppings, like if you really like that, just double your toppings recipe and then you'll have it all over the whole thing. I'm more into the filling myself, but this is sweet potato casserole, a white sweet potato casserole. $3.50 for 35 minutes, but really, till it's done. And I know nobody likes to hear that, but till it's done. 30 to 35 minutes, could be longer, could be shorter, depending on your oven. We're gonna do that, make sure the oven's preheated first. And now your house is gonna smell delicious. So you're always gonna find White Lily in my kitchen because this is a southern kitchen and that's what we do. But there's a reason for it. White Lily is made from 100% winter wheat. And like, what's that? Was wheat that was picked in the winter, that's all it is. But it has a different protein count than wheat that wasn't picked in the winter. The more proteins in something, the more gluten it's gonna make. So if you want the fluffiest kind of a biscuit, it's White Lily that you need. So I think for desserts, even sweet potato casseroles, if you want that fluffy, light texture, it's White Lily, the flour matters. So that's what we're using here. It's been 35 minutes. Let's check and see if we're ready. very much smells like we are, and it looks like we are as well. Oh yeah. Sweet potato casserole. Perfect for it the night before Christmas. Y'all, so let's taste it. It's very hot, so be careful. I would never try it too early. Not me, it would be me that did that. So good. So good. I like when the topping seeps down into it a little bit. It gives it like a crispy, sweet little edge to the inside of it, but that's delicious. Sweet potato casserole. You can't beat it. Twas the night before Christmas, y'all.